Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's session of Saturday Talk by JanyuTech. Today we have Sudhir Jha to deliver today's session. Sudhir Ji has done his Bachelor in Engineering in Production and Industrial Engineering from MNREC, MNNIT, Allahabad. He has been owner of MKM & Company, McKM & Company, Vice President, International Affairs and Industry Cell, Sandeep University, Consultant Energy Division of Rechem RPG Private Limited, currently a Vice President of MSME Development Forum, Chairman of Rice Foundation, which is a charitable trust, General Secretary, All India Confederation of Small and Micro Industries Association, and Global Alumni Coordinator for MNNIT Prayagraj. He has been working with a sense of ISR, that is individual social responsibility. He is having clear understanding of the social fabric to apply logical reasoning with critical analysis. He is a strategic planner to work out complete socio-economic and business models, and he's been working out implementation plans on the philosophy of Sarvodaya Swantadaya. Today, he is going to speak on the topic that is PLI and ELI schemes of Government of India, which is a catalyst for digital growth of Indian industries. Over to you, Sudhir Ji, from here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rajesh Ji. I am speechless on this introductory note from you. I don't know whether I deserve so much of your appreciation and accolades as mentioned. Anyway, I welcome all dear friends here from the JanyuTech family and our extended cooperative families, because JanyuTech believes in building families. So I am thankful for being given this opportunity to express my views on a very pertinent topic in present times for the manufacturing segment of business in India. Not just limited to the manufacturing segment only, rather it has a lot of repercussions with respect to the socio-economic and socio-political fabric of India for its cohesiveness with respect to the policy formulations and its implementation with a motive of last mile delivery, that is an inclusive format in which everybody becomes a distinct beneficiary in some way or the other, which is conceived at the government level as a policy and being formulated into the schemes for its implementation to achieve the desired objectives. So with this background, as Rajesh Ji has mentioned, and it is also appearing on the screen, the first slide, the PLI and ELI schemes, that is production linked incentives, which has already been rolled out in the year 2020, although it took a little time to get its adequate shape. But it was announced in the Union Budget in 2020, and it was for the 14 key sectors with an aim to enhance India's manufacturing capabilities and exports. And now, of course, this year in the Union Budget 2024, a new scheme has been envisaged under the name ELI scheme, that is Employment Linked Incentive Scheme, which is in a formative stage at present, because the Union Budget just a couple of months back, it has envisaged this scheme. And now, since it involves the labor management, the labor policy, the workforce, and the employment guidelines, so definitely the Ministry of Labor and Employment of the Government of India has been entrusted to come up with the proper rollout scheme and the implementation plans. And it is expected to be launched formally in December 2024 by the Prime Minister of India, Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji, probably. So in this backdrop, that is production linked incentive already on roll, and now the employment linked incentive. So how are they interlinked? And if at all they are one and the same, then what makes these two schemes come up separately and differently? Production linked incentive and employment linked incentive. And both these schemes put together, how does it impact the Indian industries with respect to the digital growth? Because in this technology age, of course, it's a knowledge-driven economy, and technology is an enabler. And everything is taking shape in and around the technology base of evolution, even the disruption or the transformation. So everything is happening around the technological evolution. And the first thing which technology works upon as a technical or technological enabler is the IT platform, because it leverages the various business activities, industry, commerce, and any plans to achieve a scale of economy and to capture each and every data. So that can't happen without shifting to the digital platform. So definitely everything, whatever is being viewed these days as a scheme or as a policy or as an objective or as a mechanism, I think a digital platform or the digital aspect of it is an underlying factor which impacts it very strongly. So the production linked incentive and employment linked incentive, if these two schemes have been envisaged, then definitely it has something very strongly to impact the Indian industries at the digital platform. So what is it? We will just go around into few slides ahead. This is also to present an overview only in the slides, but these topics are such in-depth topics of discussions that few slides can't present everything whatever is needed of it. So basically I'm going to cover it in three distinct sections. One relates to the production linked incentive, few slides on it. Then the employment linked incentive, few slides on it, rather more slides on it, because this is into now the formulation stage wherein everyone's input is very important. So whatever has been envisaged in this scheme, I will be presenting few slides. Scheme A, B and C. It is envisaged in three parts. So what is it and how do we put our head together so that something which is being formulated at the end of it, this entire exercise during couple of months from now, so everything is captured properly. And then a slide, few slides on how these two impact the digital growth in the Indian industries. So starting with this, then let's see the next slide. Okay. So next slide, that what is production linked incentive? PLI scheme, we all know, it is an initiative by the government of India aimed at boosting the domestic manufacturing capabilities and enhancing global competitiveness. It was launched in February 2020. The PLI scheme incentivizes companies to increase their production levels in certain sectors, directly linking financial rewards to production outcomes. And this scheme is designed to promote self-reliance in manufacturing and reduce reliance on imports. Now, what sector does the PLI scheme extend? So, as I was mentioning, you see in this table, there is some allocations which was envisaged for the different sectors. And it started with these stipulations. Now, we stand at a place and position on date where we need to review that how much, how far, in which sector, in which segment we have progressed, and what is the benefit, and what is the overall spread of the benefits. So all of you can read this. I'm not explaining it, but keeping these slides stationary, I am just pointing few core pertinent issues out here relating to it. That is, the purpose of the PLI schemes is to attract, we all know, investment in key sectors and cutting-edge technology, then ensure efficiency and bring economies of scale in the manufacturing sector. These schemes have the potential of significantly boosting employment and economic growth over the next 5 years. It was envisaged that year on year, based upon the production capacity, based upon the deployment of the workforce, the technological upgradation, then the capacity enhancement. So all these things, year on year, what is going to be the incremental production and how it goes into the export market. So based upon all these considerations, this PLI scheme has been envisaged for all the respective ministries who have formulated their specific guidelines relating to that industry segment of business. And the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, of course, Invest India has put in a lot of efforts in bringing in the investments. And the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, by the basic nature of that ministry, they are involved into all these PLI schemes extended over all the 14 sectors, which is being guided by the respective ministries. So basically, one very important point I would like to draw your attention to in this, that so far, 746 applications across 14 sectors have been approved with an anticipated investment exceeding 3 lakh crores. But mind you, notably 176 MSMEs are. So notably 176 MSMEs are among the beneficiaries, and that highlights the scheme's reach and the impact. But most of the industry and also the industry associations, we do feel one thing out here, that it has been observed, we all know for a long time, that small scale enterprises face unique challenges, including limited access to capital, technology, and global markets. So it has strongly been felt, and largely it is in discussions now from the industry associations, employers, organizations, that a dedicated PLI scheme for SMEs, small and medium enterprises, is crucial to address these issues. A tailored PLI can encourage job growth and skill development. And last but not the least, SMEs. I do not include micro, but of course, small and medium enterprises drive innovation and agility. Incentives can spur R&D and technology adoption. So it is being felt strongly that if a specific PLI module tailored for the MSMEs is considered at the government level, then definitely it can encourage job growth and also skill development. And these measures can invigorate the small scale sector, create jobs, and foster innovation, driving India's economic growth and global competitiveness. So this is with respect to the allocations and the status and whatever presently we are in a position to evaluate this PLI scheme. I mentioned all these facts. So that is with respect to the production linked incentive. We discussed so many things. Now, basically, the Ministry of Commerce, it keeps on publishing their data and also the performance related incentive related value propositions off and on, and everything is available on the website, so that I'm not referring to. So now I'm coming to the employment linked incentive ELI scheme. As I mentioned, this has been designed to stimulate job creation across all sectors with a special emphasis on the manufacturing sector. Now, part of the Prime Minister's package for employment and skilling, it has been announced with a total outlay of 1,07,000 crores. And it targets employment-linked incentive. It targets both new and existing businesses, offering incentives for hiring and retaining first-time employees over periods ranging from 1 to 4 years. And it is announced to be launched in 2024. This scheme aims to provide financial incentives to employers who hire eligible workers, thereby facilitating job creation, particularly for certain demographics such as youth, women, and marginalized communities. So it is precisely conceived in 3 formats, that is covered under Scheme A, Scheme B, and Scheme C. So I will firstly inform you I would like to inform you through the upcoming slides. What does this scheme say? A, B, and C. Next slide, please. See the key features of the ELI scheme. It is financial incentives. Employers are eligible for subsidies on payroll costs, incentivizing them to create and sustain new jobs. And focus on eligibility, the scheme provides deeper incentives for hiring of certain target groups, such as first-time job seekers, women and individuals from underprivileged backgrounds. Skill development. It encourages employers to invest in skill training programs, ensuring that the workforce is adequately prepared to meet industry demands. Compliance simplification. The scheme aims to reduce compliance burdens for employers, making it easier to hire and retain employees. Then sector inclusivity, applicable across multiple sectors, including manufacturing, services, and agriculture to promote widespread employment opportunities, because the employment can be there in all the potential sectors. And India is such a huge geographical spread with so much of diversity that inclusion with respect to all the workforce in each of the regional spreads, it requires a little tweak in the entire policy. And that is a real shift from the PLI to ELI with a specific focus on the employment generation and the job creation. So sector inclusivity, it envisages the inclusion of each and all, not just limited to the urban civilization, but also the rural belt, and not just limited to the manufacturing industries, but all kinds of business activities in the revenue value chain. Monitoring and evaluation. The implementation involves regular monitoring and evaluation to ensure transparency and effectiveness of incentives with necessary adjustments to maximize impact. Now, monitoring and evaluation, this is a very important point because we have seen when we talk about ELI with a focus on manufacturing sector. So we are aware the PLI scheme was introduced to promote manufacturing activity. However, the fact remains, just boosting economic output does not automatically boost job creation any longer, because in the decade between 1980 and 1990, every percentage of GDP growth in India produced 2 lakh formal jobs, which halved in the following decade of 1990 and 2000, and further halved in each of the 2 subsequent decades. This is a RBI data, we can check. So this is primarily due to automation and technological evolution, which is an inevitability that improves productivity, quality, and efficiency for companies to compete. Okay, that is also a valid point. And PLI only measures production accurately, not the number of jobs created. Since it pays firms, the PLI scheme, as the guidelines suggests, it pays firms based on its output. Clearly, the investment, production, and exports are all economic measures that can be calculated accurately and reported under PLI. But we have no clue to find out the number of jobs that were created, nor the beneficiaries are known who got these jobs. Even the payouts or the geographies and the sectors are not known to ensure it rightfully that a high social return in terms of good jobs created for a large number of people on such investments under PLI can be ascertained. So basically, monitoring and evaluation, this is a key parameter in the ELI which is a chief differentiator from the PLI with respect to the job creation. The implementation involves regular monitoring and evaluation to ensure transparency and effectiveness of incentives with necessary adjustments to maximize impact. And of course, boost economic growth. By linking incentives to employment generation, the scheme aims to enhance overall economic performance and reduce unemployment rates. Next slide, please. So focus area of the ELI scheme, that is clear definition of the various aspects of the scheme, that these 12 points provide specific guidelines that what are the focus areas of this ELI scheme, which is intended to bring in place clear definition of the various aspects of the scheme, identification of the eligible establishment and employees, financial literacy of the first-time employees, calculation of the reimbursements. Suppose if there is something which is not proper, so that also needs to be fixed on date with respect to the wages, the salaries, the region-wise, geography-wise, sector-wise, and that will come in picture when it comes for the reimbursements. So modus operandi for the reimbursement of the benefits for employees. These are just the procedural formats. Putting provisions for curbing frauds. So that is also one very important point. Because once the data is captured and everything gets routed through a proper database, then it also curbs the frauds. And IT-enabled system, definitely it will take entire thing to that platform. Communication and advocacy strategies, monitoring mechanisms, provision of account and audit. So all of you can look into these slides related to ELI scheme, and this is not something which can be just deliberated here. This is just to present a perspective and whatever is being envisaged. So we must like everyone to really come up with your views in this regard, because you see, your thoughts matter. And all the professionals, the policy makers, the community leaders, including all such individuals who are job seekers, employer, educator, trainer, or simply a concerned citizen, everyone should share their viewpoints on this initiative of ELI scheme, as because it matters for everyone, which may include any one of us. And collaboration and cooperation is the key to successful results. So definitely these were the slides with respect to the ELI scheme. Next slide, please. Can you help? Actually, I'm not able to scroll from here. So synergies between PLI and ELI schemes. You see, while for the job creation and skill development, ELI encourages businesses to hire more employees, while PLI scheme promotes investment, leading to increase in demand for skilled workers. Incentivize growth, that is PLI incentivize companies to ramp up production, which directly correlates with the need for more workforce, thus benefiting the ELI scheme. And support for targeted demographies, that is ELI emphasizes employment for specific demographic groups such as youth and women and marginalized community. PLI, by investing in key sectors, provides ample opportunities for these groups to enter the job market, thereby aligning with national employment goals. Economic resilience, the combined focus on performance-driven incentives in production and targeted employment fosters an economically resilient environment. As industries expand and create more job opportunities, this drives consumer spending and enhances overall economic robustness. And collaborative policy implementation. Both schemes work in tandem to create a comprehensive framework for economic development. This collaboration leads to better resource allocation, strategic investments, and a unified approach towards addressing unemployment and industrial growth and long-term economic sustainability. The synergistic outcomes of the ELI and PLI schemes contribute to sustainable economic growth by fostering a skilled workforce and a competitive manufacturing base. Together, they aim to create a balanced economy that can adapt to global changes and challenges. So this is very important. While government has envisaged PLI and ELI schemes separately and differently, we are suggesting that both should come in integration for the following reasons, and there should be a collaborative framework. So this also needs to be given a thought. So a food for thought, this I have put up to all of you, please. Yeah, and integration of PLI with ELI, that is sector-specific framework. You see, each sector included under the PLI scheme should have defined metrics, what we say, for employment generation. Sectors such as electronics could focus on not only production increases, but also on job creation related to assembly, supply chain management, and sales. So, for each of the sectors, the employment metrics, defined metrics, will help. Then data collection and analysis. So, one can supplement and complement the other. And the benefits of integration, balanced growth. By linking the PLI and ELI schemes, the government can ensure that economic growth also translates into social benefits, primarily through job creation. This creates a virtuous cycle wherein increased employment boosts consumption, which further fuels production. And targeted interventions. The integration allows for targeted subsidies and benefits to industries that are creating a significant number of jobs, optimizing resource allocation. That is very important. And monitoring and accountability. If both are integrated, then production-linked incentives and employment-linked incentives for creating an ecosystem to add to the value chain, so that will be more transparent with this monitoring and accountability. And there can be a mechanism for it. So just few days back, I would also like the organizer to share this document, 6-page document we have submitted to the labor minister, and which outlines these 3 things, that is integration of PLI and ELI schemes in a collaborative framework. Then second is maximizing the employment potential of micro clusters through ELI scheme, that is sector-wise potential. Textiles and handicrafts, employment potential, it is significant as this sector employs over 45 million people. Micro clusters related to textiles such as handloom, powerloom, and handicrafts can create substantial job opportunities. Example, in regions like Varanasi and Kashipuram, traditional weaving clusters can be leveraged for job creation into the micro clusters. Then food processing. This is a very big upcoming area that no large corporates, large entities, or the multinationals would like to delve deep into it, but it can be fostered. This potential can be realized through the micro clusters. That employment potential, India's food processing sector is one of the largest in the world, and its output is expected to reach $535 billion by 2025-26. The food processing industry has a share of 12.22% in the employment generated in all registered factory sector, engaging approximately more than 2 million people. This sector is projected to employ around 20 million people. Micro clusters related to local food processing can contribute to rural employment. The statistics says that Indian food and beverage packed industry is experiencing substantial growth, with market size projected to increase from US $33.7 billion in 2023 to US $46.3 billion by 2028. Source is IBEF, India Brand Equity Foundation. The electronics and electricals, we are also one of that kind of industry only. Employment potential, with the growing demand for electronics, micro clusters in regions like Noida can create over 5 million jobs by 2025. Pharmaceuticals. The pharmaceutical sector employs about 2 to 3 million people, with potential for micro clusters in regions like Hyderabad and Pune. And growth projection, it is expected to grow to $65 billion by 2024 and even growing beyond. And renewable energy. Employment potential, it's huge. This sector has potential for creating 1 million jobs, particularly in solar panel manufacturing and installations, which can be structured into micro clusters across states like Gujarat and Rajasthan. Now, on the 20th of August, there was a meeting of all the domestic manufacturers into the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. I attended it. It was chaired by the Secretary, MNRE, and all the domestic players were called. Now, here also there is a subtle issue. You see, in the electronics, this many things have been covered, but the power electronics has not been covered under PLI. Majority of the people operating on the Indian soil, domestic manufacturers, they are into the power electronics business. But that is something which Chinese still continue to flood the Indian market with CKD and SKD model that is completely knocked down models. Now, in that, they are also evasing the taxes. So with that evasion of tax, the benefits which they are able to get here, it is huge and substantial, and domestic players are unable to cope up with it on financial parameters. So as a policy, these things need to be looked into. The policy does not talk about the operational parameters. The policy has to view the technical parameters, and these are the technical parameters. Region-wise potential also you see for the micro clusters. Madhya Pradesh, development of micro clusters in agriculture-related processing can create 1 to 2 million jobs, especially for rural youth. Bihar, micro cluster initiatives in silk and weaving can address local unemployment and enhance skill development. Kerala, tourism-related micro clusters can enhance job opportunities in hospitality and local crafts. Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, focus on ICT and electronics clusters can generate significant employment. So one shoe doesn't fit all. Our policymakers has been doing this error all through. Every segment of potential business value revenue needs to be looked separately and differently, and there has to be a specific policies, guidelines with respect to them. So that is a point in consideration. We have submitted this. And also one more point related to this, that is integration of PLI, ELI, then focus on the micro clusters. Leveraging self-help groups in ELI scheme to catalyze significant employment generation. This is also one recommendation which we have put, that it is a very big sector emerging of late and employs huge youth force and women. So I will not go into detail of this. I would just like all of you to go through this submitted proposal. It will be shared and which we can discuss further. But I mentioned these few points just to highlight that we as a industry collective, as aware citizens, as technical people, as technocrats related to the technology age evolution, all of us are important. And we need to put our head together to make these things happen. Otherwise, left to only one stakeholder, it never takes a shape. All the stakeholders have to contribute to it. So just 2 more slides. I will just bring those slides I have already mentioned and covered, but still, since it is here, please help me with the next slide, please. Impact of PLI and ELI schemes in digital growth. Enhanced manufacturing capabilities, that is focus on electronics. PLI and ELI schemes incentivize the production of electronics, leading to increased manufacturing capabilities and the establishment of smart factories equipped with digital technologies. So here, a few references have also been put in this slide. Samsung has expanded its manufacturing facility in Noida, focusing on producing advanced electronics and smart devices. Increased R&D investment. Innovation drive. Companies are encouraged to invest in research and development, fostering innovation in digital solutions and products tailored for various industries. Tata Electronics per se, they are investing heavily in research and development for innovative semiconductor manufacturing solutions that probably most of us know. Strengthening supply chains. Local sourcing. By promoting domestic manufacturing, these schemes enhance supply chain resilience and reduce reliance on imports, which is vital for digital industries. Wistron has set up assembly lines for Apple products in India, reducing dependency on imports and enhancing local supply chains. Boosting exports. Global market access. Encouraging local production enhances India's position in the global digital market, increasing export potential for manufactured electronics and technology products. Foxconn is ramping up production in India, positioning itself to export electronic goods to global markets, particularly in North America. So this is just to mention, and one more slide, please show. This is just to mention in brief that how the PLI and ELI schemes it has really been impacting the digital growth. So encouraging digital transformation, you see industry-wide adoption. The schemes drive traditional industries to adopt digital technologies, enhancing operational efficiency and fostering innovation across sectors. So Reliance Industries is investing in digital technologies across its retail and telecom sectors, transforming customer experiences and operations. Then infrastructure development, investment in digital infrastructure, increased funding leads to better digital infrastructure, including improved connectivity and data centers, facilitating seamless integration of digital tools. The government is enhancing internet connectivity through projects like BharatNet, which improves access for industries to digital services. So one thing triggers the other, and it has a cascading effect. And that has been shown in these two slides. Sustainability initiatives, green technology adoption, emphasis on sustainable practices encourages industries to adopt green technologies, enhancing their digital transformation while addressing environmental concerns. Tata Power is leveraging digital solutions to optimize renewable energy production and enhance grid management supported by PLI incentives. Collaboration and partnerships, this is very important. So, any initiatives of this kind, the schemes encourage collaboration between industry players, academia, government, fostering a culture of innovation and knowledge sharing, because operating in silo conditions doesn't allow collaboration, and without collaboration and cooperation we cannot step into innovation. So when we intend innovation, we have to collaborate, and that benefit all the stakeholders. So definitely these two schemes, as NV says, are important for all of us as the industry community, as the manufacturing community, and it impacts all the socio-economic fabric of the country. So with these words and all these slides put together, the last slide comes to that. So thank you all for giving me a patient hearing, and definitely due to time constraint, maybe few questions we can take up now as the host permits. But definitely this is something which needs very long deliberations, and I wish that we all put our head together and in continuity deliberate on these issues, one issue one at a time, to take it further with best of the brains out here collectively for something fruitful coming out of it. Thank you all.